1.1 update on Hello Kitty Island Adventure is here, and with it a lot of new multiplayer stuff. But let's say that the general public playing the game is not as happy about these new aspects, and I'm going to look with you about the answers from the developers in the official Discord and what they can do and not do about what people are requesting. And there's also a new interview of Chelsea Howe. So let's go. Let's start with the interview. So this new interview is from Touch Arcade. Like before, I will not do the whole interview here. I will just put a few snippets of what the most important things are, but feel free to go read the full interview in the link in the description. I think it's safe to say that Hello Kitty Island Adventure is at the very least one of the more unexpected mobile hits of the year. Thanks for answering our question today. Can you introduce yourself and explain your roles in the development of Hello Kitty Island Adventure? So this Chelsea Howe, Chief Product Officer. I helped bring a long-term lens to the game so we can plan where we want Hello Kitty Island Adventure to be in months and years. I also did odd jobs like deciding how many coconut spawns each day and writing visitor dialogues. And then there's also Sunblink, Game Director. I designed and prototyped the initial concept and oversaw the development throughout production. I may have contributed some code here and there. So what came first? The idea of the game or the idea of making something with Sanrio characters? The opportunity to work with Sanrio came first, but the idea of a blend between cozy and adventure was something we had talked about previously and instantly came to mind as the perfect match for the brand. Applying typical cozy simulation gameplay to Hello Kitty was an obvious thing to do, but we wanted to add a layer of depth, literally in the case of diving. That hasn't been done in these types of games before. Early on, one game we played a lot and took inspiration from was A Short Hike. It really demonstrated how exploration could be fun without the need for combat and other form of action. That's interesting because there was another very good Hello Kitty game that was Hello Kitty Online, and there was still combat, but you would not kill your opponent, you would just stun them for some time, and then I don't remember if they would come back to life or just disappear at that. But here they managed to make such a good game without any combat at all. We thought we could take that idea and expand on it by creating a huge world to have adventures in, as well as make into a new home. A lot of people enjoyed the snake on a plane reference in the opening. How much freedom did you have to make those kinds of self-aware or referential gags? One of the brilliant parts about Sanrio characters is that they appeal to a huge audience. They're truly cross-generational. It was important for us to be able to reach out to those different age groups and ensure that players felt seen and heard as early as possible in the game. Sanrio had ultimate approval on the entire script, and we actually worked with some of the writers from Super Cute Adventures. This is one Sanrio cartoon that you can see on YouTube, so it felt like that cross-generational goal was really shared. What aspect of the game are you the most proud of and why? So many people play this game and say something like, I did not expect this to be this good. The fact that we've made far and away the best Hello Kitty and Friends game is a big accomplishment, but I also think it speaks to the tremendous quality we were able to pack into this mobile title. There's so much more than folks expect, and seeing them fall in love with it just makes the whole studio delighted. Yeah, I've seen that in many of the articles that I've seen, because a lot of people who actually review games are guys. You would not think the main demographic for this game, and so many people said, oh my god, I never thought I would say that, but this game is so good. So it makes me so happy to read that. So now let's go to the Discord, and I took screenshot from the last maybe 2 weeks. And let's discuss everything that people have complained about and the official response. Mostly, I don't know why, but in the past there was an account called Sunblink Devs that was answering all the people in the Discord and doing the official things. And apparently now this account has not been logged in for a month, at least not posted for a month. And now Chelsea on her personal account is actually answering a lot of the questions. So I have so many questions. Does that mean that before it was a general account that several people logged into and now they decided to get a face onto the answers? Or is that the community manager quit and Chelsea, who we just saw is the chief product officer, has to answer the community herself because somebody left that job, or she just likes to actually talk to the community herself? I don't know. If Sunblink, you want to give me an official statement about that, feel free to do so. But let's have a look. We didn't adjust the drop rate for hats, just made it so you were guaranteed to get more of whatever the car base return gift was. This shouldn't have impacted chances of getting hats. So that means there's still about 1% chance to get hats, but what they change is maybe that if Hello Kitty, I think, gives you tofu back, now she gives you a couple more tofu or something like that. Ju is asking, why aren't we able to put one piece of cloth and a hat on a clothing stand? Is there a plan to happen at some point? Chelsea said it's tech complications. We want it to be like this ultimately, but it requires changing to a user interface which we didn't have time to implement, so we did a basic version for now, but we have plans. To be even more clear, we want it to be just like the avatar where you could put a hat, a shirt and pants on, or a hat and a dress. Sophie said, just to let you know, it's unlikely that contents of boxes already in your inventory will be affected by the update. What's inside is already decided, so waiting to open them won't increase chances of hats in older boxes. And then Chelsea answered, the opposite is actually true, it's decided on open. And then Sophie said, oh, thank you for the clarification. Usually items in your inventory are unaffected by updates. It worked like that last update only because we added the new small and medium boxes, but for pretty much anything involving RNG in the game, the RNG is decided as the action happens. Using the recycling plant, fishing well, opening character boxes, logging in to see which visitors arrived. Good to know. I'm glad I was wrong. That said, we aren't changing the items you get from the boxes, just the quantities rate. We thought it would be a bit cruel to add new items to that and make the folk who's gotten hats suddenly feel obligated to get a bunch more. So basically, now the boxes have a lot more items of the things that the character would give you as a return gift before, but they did not change anything to the hats. When you multi-open, it still rolls each box individually behind the scenes and just displays the result all at once, so odds aren't affected. If we want to get into the psychology of random number generating, though, the reason folks keep saying that bulk open works better is, I know this is obvious, rolling 30 times give you 30 chances of success and rolling 1 times give you 1. So you will experience failure far more often opening individually than you will opening in bulk. Are people getting the second basement quest on different days? Do you know? It's possible some folks completed it before reset on Thursday, since the update became available for some folks before the technical day was released. It should be 1 week from when you completed it. That's what I've seen somewhere else. I have not actually played multiplayer yet, but apparently the first level opens when you start a quest, and then 7 days after you started the first level, you can do the second level. I don't mind for trick-or-treating, but definitely agreed about the mermaid outfit. I think it should equip automatically when you swim, so it was a thread about asking to unlink the abilities to the clothing. Chelsea said, we've got a spec for this exact thing. It didn't make into 1.3 unfortunately, but I'm pushing it to get in the soon. This is a joke where it's like one of the future update, but not like the next one. So we'll see, we'll get a few things that we know will get into the 1.3 or not get, we'll see. People were complaining about that the support is only in English, and Chelsea said, we don't have any budget to hire 17 plus folks to moderate in different languages. I barely have time to help out there, much less manage those 70 plus folks. It's really untenable for a small company to be able to support that extent of languages. Dan said maybe the Wranglers would essentially need 3 plus volunteers in each language for around-the-clock coverage, and someone with the ability to find those people, vet those people, and continuously manage those people. They officially said that they don't want to be able to have multi-language support in the Discord, but apparently later in the thread they mentioned that maybe doing a multilingual post tutorial about multiplayer or something like that is something that they could do. And there's also tons of communities in many different languages in Facebook, so you probably can find something in your language, but that will not be in the main Discord. In our original prototype, we had accessories that could attach to avatars' backs, like Kuromi's cute wings, fairy wings. It got cut for time, but there are many devs who fell in love with it and want to get it back in the game at some point. Yes, I would love to have backpacks and things like that. That would be so cute. And wings, of course. Okay, so then people ask if cherry and berry would be seasonal, only during Halloween's or things like that. Chelsea said, I wanted them to be seasonal because it seemed most appropriate for the characters, but I was told they don't have the tech for that. We don't have the tech for that. I think down the road we'll want to have a big more nuance to when, how long visitors show up, but for now they are going to be always the traveling rotations. Multiple visitors can come on a given weekend. The rotation won't be lengthened by the addition of more visitors. It just means you'll get more each weekend. So basically the traveling visitors I think are from Thursday or Friday up until Monday or something like that, around the big weekend. But now today I got the info that Cherry or Berry, I don't remember, and one of the older character is also traveling. So before we had only I think 4 traveling characters, them would be on a different weekend, but now I guess there are actually going to be several on the same weekends. So they might be monthly reoccurring, something like that. I need every color of bat, bows, and the bed and the chair. And then Chelsea said, we're going to look at tuning for the next event. We thought the die variant would feel much more optional for folks than they apparently are. Our goal has been that you should feel like you can get everything as long as you log in about 70% of the time, and clearly with all die variants feeling mandatory, that is not the case. According to my calculation, and when I did my calculation, I did not realize I did not have all the furniture in my shop. It was only half of it. Basically, I think you can just barely get one of the clothing and one of each of the furniture. So definitely don't get many clothing, and the ones that you get by the login, you can dye those. And so yes, then you might be able to buy everything. They're then thinking about maybe tweaking that for next event, either make less furniture or less color things or give more of the currency. We'll see. So here's how it works. There are 22 total pieces of furniture and deco. We were worried that displaying this all at once would be really intimidating for folks and just generally less accessible to scroll through. So we chose to display 11 each days and then set the logic to not repeat the next day. This guarantees that you see half the decos one day and the other half the next day. Then the first half, second half, etc. That way no one could get bad RNG log and not see certain things for several days and maybe miss out towards the end of the event. Well, y'all have referred the massive list of the clothing plus 22 items. To be honest, I thought that the clothing will change colors each day, but all the furnitures will be there since there were few furnitures last time. And then I was so confused when I went into the collection and I thought I was missing 30 things. So I had no idea what was going on, and now I'm understanding how it works through that. I'm freaking out because I thought I was just able to get all the furniture. Now I might not because I already bought too many clothing. So I'm like a bit overwhelmed with 22 new furniture, but also this is super cool because those furniture are super cool. Not my aesthetic though. Please make the kawaii ones. Oh my god, imagine for Christmas probably something would be super cute also. And if they still have things, I think they said maybe less furniture next time because it was too overwhelming. We'll see. So then people ask if we could get more of the treats for this update. Can this be a half fix and at least change from 9 to 11 to match the previous event, or keep this collection as permanent in the shop? It's by far my favorite collection. And then NQ99 says 11 is not enough. You would need 50 candies per day. And so it is, well, I agree it's not enough, but it seems that the devs are unwilling to give us any more at all. So I think it's best to start small while begging for more. And as I said previously, this collection becomes permanent. I would be delighted. That would solve the issues as well. Just as said, we are in discussion about what we can do for 1.2. I guess a hotfix for this event. No promises though. Time is super tight and our 1.3 update is enormous. Yay! I'm excited to see what we'll get in 1.3. Did you know if you miss any day trick-or-treating, you can do 2 times the treats the next day? This works up through 3 days. So if you miss 2 days, you can trick-or-treat 15 times on the 3rd day. But you will not get the 8 daily quests that you have not done. So you still need to do this. So if you just don't play for 3 days, you will not get 9 treats times 3. You will only get 15 treats, and then how many of the daily quests you do, like the total will be 19. Are there multiplayer cabins or just the one? Multiple. I think the only limit is how many cabins you want to use for it. And I think we only let you have a certain number of cabin on other islands. I want to say 5 or 10. I can check tomorrow when the team's awake. So now there's a lot of people having the quest where you can have a friend move to your island, and apparently you can open a different cabin for a lot of different friends. Once that person decorates their cabin, is it theirs permanently? You can always kick them out and they can always reclaim their furniture from afar. We tried to make sure that either person could back out at any time. So you could just invite a random stranger to have a house on your island just to finish the quest. I think you don't even have to do the quest and let it happen. This is possible to do, but you don't have to decorate it and everything. And then you can decide to not be on their island anymore. You can decide to not have your friend on your island anymore. So if I open a new cabin, will it be 3 crates? Because someone said that I should have talked to Chococat, but he didn't say anything. Yes, if you open a new cabin, you still need the crates, even if it's your own cabin. Cabin costs different amounts of crates to repair depending on where they are. We know that. But there's no extra charge for giving it to a friend. I think we had to pay extra 3 crates to make it our own cabin on top of the cabin that we already opened. So Chelsea just said that there's no cost to assign it to somebody else. You just pay to open that cabin. We want to add the ability to expand, upgrade your personal cabin in the future to add multiple rooms and potentially some exterior customization. It will be a few updates though, as there are quite a few underlying technical hurdles. I can totally understand that. And also, I have no idea. They said several times they want to maybe do exterior customization, but that would be so complicated as it's now. In Animal Crossing, you have the yard that's compared to your house, or not even. So the house is that place, and then you can put everything everywhere. I think it's kind of... As you've seen in the 1.1 hotfix update, there was big challenges and top hats that were actually locked behind the basement library Haunted Mansion quest, and you could not see them anymore to finish the other main story quest with the strange tree or something like that. They fixed that now they are not locked anymore, and somebody now complained about a different character being locked for a different quest. Okay, just an update to what I said earlier. It looks like Chococat is actually going to be blocked for me now until I complete the multiplayer cabin quests. I use him every day for crafting. Can you please get rid of the multiplayer quest or make them optional? Just as said, this is getting fixed in the 1.2.2 hotfix. Our quest system defaults to reserving any involved characters, so we have to manually go in and change it for any multiplayer quests. Gating the main quest line on this was unintentional and will be fixed in an update. No character will be locked during it. We are planning on unblocking the character it currently blocks so that the main quest line isn't gated on it. That's not what we're asking exactly though. Yes, people were actually complaining a lot about forcing people to do multiplayer in a game that started kind of solo. Honestly, I'm happy I have a couple of friends that play that, and I feel that actually having the game force you to do multiplayer feels a bit weird, because before it was totally optional and now you have at least 2 quests that you need another person to make. And I understand why people are complaining, because it's complicated. Also, the multiplayer system is not very robust and there's a lot of bugs and disconnection. And also, is it safe to have people organize with strangers to do that? So I understand the concerns of the people. But here's Sunblink's answer. I know, multiplayer aspects have always been important to us. They will not block single player, but they won't be removed or made solo. For us, this is a game about friendship, so multiplayer is important. We're keeping this, but we are not going to block other quests like it was now. Behind that, it was not intended for them to block that. So if you do not want to do any of the multiplayer quests, they will just stay in your quest guide until you want to do it, or just never disappear. But now you will at least be able to do the other quests. But they are not budging on that. They do not intend to removed the obligation to have to do multiplayer in this game. On October 11th, Sunblink did an important announcement that tagged everybody in the Discord, so I just wanted to quickly talk about it. They're talking about multiplayer and the way that they really envisioned the game to be playing with friends, and everything should be better with friends as their motto. They are talking about two things about multiplayer. First of all, they agree that their tech is not the best. They hoped that iOS 17 will fix the issues that I had, and they realized that it's not the case, so they are now rebuilding everything, but it will take a long time. So in the meantime, they acknowledge that their tech for multiplayer might be on par to what they were expecting. And second thing, they said that they will be sure that in the future all the multiplayer quests will be able to be backlogged or hidden. If you don't want to do that, you will not see them if you decide to opt out of multiplayer, and it will not block you anymore, and that in 1.2.2 it should be done, that it releases everything. And as of today, the 13th of October, it's still not been released. They also mentioned that in response to the safety concern, they are in compliance with Apple's safety standard, and that they will not be engaging on the topic anymore, and that you should go and read the support from Apple if you have questions regarding that. And a super cool treat at the end is that if you play on October 31st, you will get 50 spooky treats instead of just the 9, or is it on top of the 9? We'll see. And October 31st is not the last day of the event. The last day will probably be the 5th. It says until the 6th, but that probably means that the night of the 5th to the 6th, and so maybe on the 6th reset day you will not be able to get more. So if you want to read the full post, I will put a link in the description, so go see it to read it. That was on the Reddit and not on the Discord, but I thought that was interesting. Somebody asked, what is the golden apple in the multiplayer thing? And apparently it's to share stamina, so that if one other player doesn't have that much stamina bars yet, then the other one can share or something. Somebody said, I wasn't able to complete the summer's end. You will get a chance next year. The events will return annually, but look/feel a bit new and different. You will be able to get prior year's event from them alongside whatever's new. So like that, I guess it's a little bit like Animal Crossing. If you miss something, you'll still be able to get it next year, but they're adding new stuff and different things for whoever's done it already. This is exciting. I'm already excited to look forward to all the events first, knowing that it will start again next year. It's a bit sad because I want new things all the time, but also I understand that people will want the things they missed on. So it's also very good that you will never have things that you might not get back. I think they even said that the crown for the login, like the first daily logging thing, you had a crown for the start celebration, something like that, launch celebration, and even that might come back. So this is good to know that people will get everything at some point. Chelsea said, someone asked about why we made all the beds small. We're standardizing bed sizes, but since we already had the big beds made, they're going to be in the game eventually too. We're figuring out the best way to integrate them. Maybe you'll have to craft with a small bed to make a big bed. Maybe our sleepless friend Pom Pom Purin will start to sell big beds. Who knows? Not even us, not yet. Beach Please said, I would love to be able to see what percentage of resources I have collected in a day. And it would be fun to see what percentage I get every day, or even challenge myself to get 100%. That would be interesting. Chelsea said, this is a really interesting idea. How would you feel if we had to talk to a character to get this information? Like say you could ask KRP how many items are left. I agree with this. That way we can tell if we collected everything for the day. The crystal scanner can also be repurposed to hone in on a specific resource you choose, just in case it would drive you crazy swimming the entire underwater searching for the last coral milk in your checklist. And Chelsea said, stay tuned for 1.3. I don't know what it means, but maybe it will be easier to find one specific resource with some kind of tool. I know it's been very long, but I think it's very interesting to actually get updates and answer directly to the players' questions. And I obviously cannot keep up with the Discord. I think now they have 29,000 people in this Discord. It's impossible to read the conversations, but what I'm doing is about like once a week, I sort by the username of all the things written in the chat by the people from Sunblink. I am looking at Sunblink devs and Chelsea. I don't know if I should start reading also other devs' comments and see if we would learn a lot more that I have not added here, but I think I want to share this info with you so you get answers on what is the direction they're going. Like they said, we do not move on multiplayer, we will not remove this aspect of the game, but also they said, hey, this is on our list, this is for the future, things like that. So if you're not interested and it's too long, feel free to skip it, but I think it's so interesting to share that with you. And please let me know your feedback about that. Do you want me to keep doing this? Should I spread it even more and add more info to this kind of news review or things like that? Let me know what you think for the future, and remember, everybody can be kawaii. Bye bye!